All right, Dylan, thank you for joining us. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, we'll go ahead and take questions. We'll take your first questions from Angel Wells. Angel?
Hi, Dylan. Um, how old were you when you started playing football, and how would you describe your athletic journey now that you've made it to the national championship game?
I started football when I was like 7 years old. Ever since then, I was always like the best player on the field. I played running back and linebacker growing up, so it was fun for me growing up, and it's fun for me now. So like being able to play on this big stage now is a dream come true. When I was a kid, I used to always turn on college game day every Saturday. The first thing I'd do is wake up and watch that. So being able to play, in the national championship, like I said, is a dream of mine.
All right, we'll next go to Patrick Murphy. Patrick, go ahead.
Dylan, when you look at the way this Ohio State rushing attack has changed throughout the year, not only Trey Sermon but the offensive line, what do you see that they've gotten better at, and what are the biggest challenges of this attack on Monday?
First and foremost, I think that Ohio State has a really great offensive line. They open up the holes, for the running back Trey Sermon to get through them. And I feel like that's why he's had, majority of his success, because of his offensive line. And I feel like, every great running back would say that about, the guys up front. But as far as like for us, I feel like that's one of the main things we have to worry about is, trying to make Ohio State one-dimensional and stopping their run game because, that's something that's really important and just as far as their success.
All right, next we'll go to Mike Rodak. Go ahead, Mike.
Dylan, you opened up recently about some of the difficulties you faced in 2020, both from a family standpoint and a football standpoint. Just how much will that weigh into any decision that you might have about potentially taking advantage of extra eligibility for college?
As of right now, I'm just trying to focus on the championship game. I'm not really worried about anything afterwards. I'm just going to take it one day at a time. After the game is over with and whatever happens, happens.
All right, next we'll go to Tony Selakis. Go ahead, Tony.
Dylan, how much pain were you in this season, and when, if ever, did you get back to 100%? And then my second question is just from your recruiting standpoint, from the time when you were recruiting, what have you done to kind of block out some of the criticism that you've received online?
Just as far as going through throughout pain and stuff throughout the year, the first time I felt like 100% of myself was the very first game of the season against Missouri, and then after that, just all throughout the season, it was just constant pain and all that. But like I said, it was something I had to persevere through. I never had to go through a whole season, feeling like that. It was new for me, but at the same time, it was it wasn't nothing I couldn't play through. Like I said, I'm really tough when it comes to dealing with a lot of pain and all that. But at the end of the day, I just wanted to be there for my teammates, make a difference and be able to make the calls for them.
All right, next we'll go to John Zener. Go ahead, John.
Hey, Dylan, thanks for talking to us. What led you to kind of open up and let people know what you're going through? And secondly, has that all that stuff missing last season, has that made being here just even that much more special?
Oh yeah, of course, it made it that much more special. And like I said, at the end of the day, I just really wanted to be there for my teammates. And like I said, for that post that I made, it wasn't for me or for anybody to feel any sympathy towards me. That was really for those people out there that was going through the same thing that I was going through and thinking about giving up, and just showing that we're human, like everyone who plays football or a professional sport or a collegiate sport. We're all human. We go through the same thing. So me putting that out there, that was for other kids or other athletes that are going through what I'm going through, and showing that they can make it through.
And next we'll go to Steve Moulton. Steve.
Hey, Dylan, hope you're doing well today. I can't help but want to ask your impressions of what you've seen out of Justin Fields and really the offensive line in particular as well. They're at Ohio State.
I've been watching Justin Fields, since he came out of high school. I always had high praise in him. he kind of remind me of a young Cam Newton or something like that. But dude, he has a lot of great talent. He could deliver the ball to his receivers, has a strong arm, athletic. He's everything that you want in a quarterback. And like I said, we respect him. And like I said, we go into the game, confident and knowing that this is going to be a great challenge.
Next, we'll go to Ben Hall. Go ahead, Ben.
Hey, Dylan. Throughout this year, we've seen some younger guys step up on your defense, like Malachi Moore and Will Anderson. What has it been like serving kind of as a role model and a leader to some of the younger guys on this defense?
It means a lot to me, man. Because I remember when I was a freshman and I needed that guidance or needed like an older guy just to give me that extra nudge, just to have confidence in order to go on the field. And just knowing that someone older believes in you and knows that, your athletic ability is good enough to be in this defense and play, it means a lot. So I try and, stick my neck out a lot for the guys. As far as just the freshmen in general, it's a lot of guys that, just in general like that. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. But, yeah, just as far as like the freshmen and stuff, we try and, keep them, grounded and knowing that, that you can be successful playing in this defense.
Thank you.
And next we'll go to Zachary Brasilia. Zach?
Dylan, how would you just describe the last 2 years? You obviously missed all of last season and this year. You talked about, how tough this year was, losing your grandmother and, the pain you've played through, but now you're at this point. Just what has this been? What have the last 2 years of your life been like?
It's been a lot of ups and downs, but at the same time, that's life. Everything's not going to be picture perfect, but, it's blessings within, everything. Everything happens for a reason. And, I'm grateful to be in this position with my teammates, and this was something, I was looking forward to, knowing, I would come back and all of that, So being here and being able to be a part of this historic team, it means a lot to me.
Next question comes from Haley Sutton. Go ahead, Haley.
Hey, just kind of touching on a question that was kind of already asked, but Coach Saban mentioned that whenever you step on the field, you kind of give the rest of the team around you some electricity. Knowing that your coach thinks so highly of you, does that give you any more motivation to play, or does it help you kind of stay grounded when you're out on the field?
Oh, yeah, it helps me a lot. Like I said, with Coach Saban having those, feelings about me, it's a great feeling because, like I said, I've been knowing him since I was in the 8th grade. And he recruited me out of middle school. So for me and his relationship, it's like, kind of like a great uncle or something like that, So for him to feel like that about me, it means a lot. And me knowing that about myself, I can affect the guys around me. It makes me feel even, better and more motivated to even go out there, just have my presence around there, So for me to be like that for my teammates, like I said, it's a blessing.
And our next question comes from Pranav Rama. Go ahead.
Hey, Dylan. Thanks for doing this. I was just wondering, in terms of overall big picture, anything changing preparation-wise to limit Ohio State's rushing and passing attack?
No, we're just breaking down, their offense, just like we would do any other offense. We're not trying to change anything or, trying to do anything out of the ordinary, So for us, it's just, because at the same time, I think my defensive coordinator may have mentioned it, a lot of teams do a lot of copycats, from other teams that we've played previously or things that may have worked on us before. So we try and stay, ahead or prepared in that category. So, we're just trying to be ready for the game.
Take one final question from Chris Hummer. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Dylan. How do you think your 2017 class would view itself differently if it helps win a second national championship?
Oh, man, I don't want to step on nobody's toes, but like I said, I feel like our class is one of the best ones. We had a lot of talent in that class, just a lot of guys that you see now that's, in the league and guys now that's leaders on this team. We've carried a lot of weight, and I'm proud of the guys that was in this class. And I'm just happy to say I was, I'm a part of it, because, like I said, it was a lot of great talent, a lot of great people, players, and everything, So I'm just proud to be able to be a part of it.
Dylan, thank you for your time this morning. Good luck on Monday.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, we'll continue on. Next, we'll be joined by Patrick Surtain. Again, if you have a question, use the raise hand function in the chat and let us know that you have a question, and we'll continue on with Patrick. Patrick, welcome. We'll go ahead and go straight to questions, and we'll start with Sam Khan. Go ahead, Sam.
Hi, Patrick. I'm curious, when you look at the way you guys have played on defenses of late, what has gone well and where have you guys gotten better the most, in your opinion?
We learned through experience what we need to do. I just felt like we prepared better each and every week. We've gotten better each and every week flying around to the ball, making adjustments, and, learning from past games where we struggled at, and so to fix and correct it what we needed to do.
All right, our next question comes from Stephen Smith. Go ahead, Stephen.
Hey, Pat, I know Malachi Moore didn't play against Notre Dame, but how has he looked this week in practice?
He looked fine. He's moving out there. He should be ready to go.
All right, we'll next go to Patrick Murphy. Patrick?
Patrick, just your impressions of Justin Fields, what you've seen of him, kind of the growth of him as a quarterback, and obviously coming off the best game of his career, what you guys have to do to slow that passing attack down.
Obviously, he's a great talent. He's got a tremendous arm. Like I said, he's a leader on that team. Whatever he does affects the team a lot. But we just got to look at things to do to affect him, as far as getting to the quarterback, pressuring him, different disguises in the back end, many different things to look at through the film room.
All right, our next question will come from Mark Stallworth. Go ahead, Mark.
Hello, Patrick. How you doing? My name is Mark Stallworth. I'm with the Miami Times newspaper. My question to you is, how important is a game like this for you all in regards to recruiting in South Florida?
It's still an important game. I don't know what recruiting got to do with it. But at the same time, we just focus on this game. Hopefully, they'll look at this game and see what they think of it. But right now, I don't think that's out of the question, out of the picture right now.
I also had a follow-up, if that's okay.
Yeah.
All right. What are you looking forward to towards the most this week, coming back to South Florida, playing in the Hard Rock Stadium?
Like I said before, I know it'll be a hometown game. I'm just looking forward to play the best game with my teammates and just going out there and just winning the game. That's all I'm focused on, really.
All right, our next question will come from Nathan Baird. Nathan, go ahead.
Hey, Patrick. The combination of Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson for Ohio State, are there any teams that you guys have already faced that you feel like you've seen a mix of this, where you have two receivers of that caliber between the slot and the outside that you have to deal with at the same time? And how do you try to match up with that?
I say we've seen teams like that before. Just this team, they're very talented on both sides of the ball, even in the running game. So I feel like they bring a whole lot of dimension on their offense. They're great receivers, of course, which brings tremendous amount of depth in their offense. So, we're looking forward to the challenge.
Our next question comes from Leo Johnson. Leo, go ahead, please.
Overall, how do you look to stop this Ohio State passing game that they have great receivers and then they can also attack with their tight ends?
Like I said, it all starts in the film room and preparing each and every day in practice. But I'm also looking at their top concepts, what they like to do, things like that. As a whole defense and as a whole unit, is all about studying their tendencies and, just preparing each and every day for the game.
All right, our next question comes from Christopher Heidel. Go ahead, Christopher.
Hey, Patrick. Thanks for taking my call. talk about your father. Your father played in the NFL, with the Dolphins and the Chiefs. What did he teach you about football growing up? And also, what was it like going, like you said, going back home to Miami, where he was literally there for a long time when you were growing up?
I could remember him playing since I was in my earliest youth days. But he's taught me a lot about football, even more about football. After life of football. He taught me a lot of things going into the game. And, I just carried and learned from him. And just going back home, he's going to be there. I'm just looking forward to impress him. I know they're going to be happy to see me. I'm going to be happy to see them. So it's going to be a great moment.
All right, our next question will come from Mitch Stacy. Go ahead, Mitch.
Hey, Patrick. You already talked about the Ohio State receivers a little bit. You're probably going to be seeing a lot of Chris Olave. Can you talk a little bit about what he does so well and why he's hard to defend?
I'd say his speed. He creates separation fast at the top of his routes. And I'd say he also is very patient and fluid with his route running. He keeps the defense guessing. I'll say that by the much, but yeah, he's an excellent vertical threat for their team, and it's going to be a challenge, of course.
All right, our next question comes from Stephen Means. Go ahead, Stephen.
Hey, Patrick, kind of along those same lines. As a corner, every wide receiver is different. They have their own special skill sets. But as a corner, when you know a guy that you're maybe matched up against on a specific snap is more of a deep threat than he is maybe yards after the catch or intermediate routes, is there any adjustments you make as a corner when you know that in the back of your head?
Of course, you got to look at certain things where receivers like to do, their tendencies, and how they utilize them in the offense. So, as a corner, you got to expect that going into the game. His favorite routes, what he likes to do here and there. So, you got to be on top of that as a corner.
All right, we'll go now to David Farones. David, go ahead.
Hey, Pat. Good to see you. Good to see you doing so well since your time at Heritage. Along the lines of playing back home in South Florida and also your father, you talked about having memories from being a child going to the stadium. What memories were there? Are there any specific ones? And also from that first playoff semifinal that you played as a freshman, what can you remember from that? And what would it mean to you to potentially go out on top in the stadium that your father once called his NFL home?
Well, I'll say that I remember, certain things when he was playing for Miami, like him making plays. They also had a great defense back then with him, Jason Taylor, Sam Madison, all those guys, Zach Thomas. But I just remember him making plays out there, having fun. But also just knowing that what it took to get here, it's a blessing, honestly. But, just looking forward to this game. Remember the semifinal game. I just remember being a freshman out there. Having fun, just winning the Orange Bowl. I just look forward to the game ahead.
All right, our next question will come from Jeff Spiegel. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hi, Pat. Obviously, you mentioned your dad and what a great career he had, and you're up for a couple of awards tonight. How much would it mean to you to win those awards to further show the mark that you yourself have had on this game?
I'll be honored, honestly. But like I said before, I'm not so much focused on the awards. I'm just focused on the game ahead. The awards come second towards what we got in store and what we got to finish.
All right, we'll take one final question from Myron Williams. Myron, go ahead.
Hello, Patrick. I know you spoke a little bit about your time here in South Florida. Have you had a chance to speak to the other guys from South Florida, Jordan Battle, Josh Jobe? What are some of the excitement that you guys have as a unit and as a team coming back?
We're all very excited coming back home and playing in the national championship. All our families are going to be there. They're going to be excited, repping the hometown. It's an exciting feeling knowing that how much tradition you brought into the South Florida world. We did, but it's going to be an exciting moment, and we're going to have fun out there. So, we're just going to enjoy the moment.
Pat, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on Monday in Miami. We're now joined by defensive lineman Phil Mathis. If you have a question, use the raise the hand function, and we'll get to questions. We'll start with Stephen Smith. Go ahead, Stephen.
Hey, Phil, I mean, Coach Saban has had a lot of great teams come to the program, but he mentioned after the SEC title that he loves this team. What is it about this team that sort of grabbed his heart?
I really just think the way we have discipline around here. We all work together. We try to do everything right. Everybody stayed out of trouble. We try to follow the protocols of coronavirus, and we handle that well. So I can say that's probably one of the reasons.
All right, our next question comes from Dennis Dodd. Go ahead, Dennis.
Yeah. Hey, Phil. Give us a general feel on how you stop Justin Fields.
I can't hear you. Can you repeat that?
Oh, give us an idea of how you guys plan to stop Justin Fields. How do you get your hands on him?
Just do what we've been doing all week and week out long. Just trying to get back there and do our job. Just running calls that coach called from the sideline, and just try to go out there and dominate them.
All right, our next question will come from Mike Rodak. Go ahead, Mike.
Phil, how much?
You muted yourself there, Mike. Go ahead.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
We can. Go ahead.
Okay, my apologies for that. How much has Nick Saban talked about the 2009 team and that team going undefeated, and the chance for this team to go undefeated as well?
He really haven't been talking about it much because we just been focused on what we got to do now. That's in the past, and we here now. We just focus on what we got to do now to bring on a dub.
All right, our next question will come from Chris Hummer. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Phil, what would a second national championship do for the legacy of your 2017 class?
I think it'll bring a lot of spark for the team that's coming back next year. It'll be a lot of motivation, and just for the 17 class, it'll bring a lot of, I guess love, a good feeling that we did it 2 times, especially with the guys that was there freshman year. Also with Smitty catching that big catch, and obviously whatever we go out there and do come Monday.
All right, our next question comes from Dan Hope. Go ahead, Dan.
Hey, Phil, just what's it like watching Ohio State's offensive line on film? What kind of challenges do you see that they're going to present to you guys?
Those guys are pretty physical. They move pretty good, and we just gotta accept the challenge up front and just try to dominate all night.
All right, Angel Wells will be our next question. Go ahead, Angel.
Hi, Phil. Who or what is something in your life that motivates you on a daily basis as a student athlete?
I could say my father, man. He's always in my ear. Even when I, play good or play bad, he's always motivating me, telling me that I got it and I can do it. Just keep pushing. Also, my mom, she's always texting me. Also, even though she can't be here because of coronavirus and stuff like that, and she always letting me know that she loves me and I can do whatever I put my mind into.
Next question will come from Stephen Means. Go ahead, Stephen.
If when you guys are watching film on Trey Sermon, I don't know how far back you guys go, but have you ever, I guess, kind of caught yourself wondering what the heck happened with this guy between maybe the first 3 or 4 games to, what you guys may be preparing to see in the college football playoff now?
Can you repeat that?
I guess what I'm asking is from your standpoint as a defensive lineman who's gone up against some pretty good running backs, have you seen maybe a difference in, the Trey Sermon that you've seen on film from maybe the first 2 or 3 games of the season to maybe the film from the last 2 or 3 games where it seems like he's running for 200 plus yards every night?
Oh yeah, he's a good back. He runs pretty hard. You can see that it means a lot to him. He got something to prove, and that's something I love about him. But obviously, we got to go out and just do our job and wrap him up.
All right, we'll go to Nathan Baird. Go ahead, Nathan.
Another question about the Ohio State offensive line. Just their 2 tackles are not the guys who have maybe gotten national accolades and things like that. But what are you seeing from them, especially that makes them a tough matchup for someone coming off the edge?
I mean, they do a great job in the passing game, also in the running game for Trey. And like I said before, we just got to take on the challenge and show up with the same intensity that they bring.
All right, our next question will come from Leo Johnson. Leo?
Overall, how do you plan to get past the Buckeyes' outstanding offensive line headlined by Wyatt Davis and put pressure on Justin Fields and Trey Sermon?
I just said don't change nothing that we have been doing all year long. Just stick to the plan. Take what Coach gives us from the sideline and go out there and execute the call.
Next question comes from Brendan Gulick. Go ahead, Brendan.
Hi, Phil. Thanks for meeting with us. When you look at this Ohio State team on tape, whether it's personnel or scheme or talent, do they remind you of anybody you've played this year, whether it was in conference or even the Notre Dame game? Any similarities you see?
Not really. I mean, when I watch film, I see that team. They do what they do. They do what they do best, and I can't compare nobody to those guys. Because that's their team, and I feel like it would be disrespect if I tried to compare them to someone else. Ohio State is Ohio State, and they do a good job of what they do.
And if I could just follow up on that real quick, even if you're not going to compare, players or teams to each other, from a scheme perspective, what you see the offense do for Ohio State, do you feel like you've seen that style of offense in other games where maybe, you guys as a defense feel like, okay, this isn't totally new to us?
Oh, most definitely. They on their offensive line, they try to get sideline to sideline like Notre Dame. So I think that'll be something I can compare.
All right, our next question comes from Steve Moulton. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Phil, hope you're doing well today. I can't help but ask about you. Where do you think you feel like you've grown the most this year as a football player, and where do you think you can improve the most moving forward?
The most I think I've grown is just having confidence in myself, and also just becoming a leader on the team, and just being the best that I can be whenever I'm out on the field, and just taking away that nervousness from what I had last year, and just being the best that I can be.
On the subject of being a leader, though, is it more by your actions, or are you a vocal leader on this team?
I try to lead by my actions, just by doing the right things on and off the field. Just showing the young guys that you don't have to be a tough guy or anything to do the right things around here. It doesn't take that much. All it takes is just buying in to the team and, just staying focused.
All right. Thank you, Phil. Appreciate your time this morning.
All right, thank you.
We'll next be joined by defensive lineman DJ Dale. Again, your hands have been lowered. If you have questions, please use the raise hand function, and we will get to as many questions as we can. Again, the transcript and video of today's press conferences will be posted on collegepressbox.com. DJ, thanks for joining us. We'll go ahead and get started with a question from Patrick Murphy. Patrick?
Hey, DJ. When you look at the interior of this Ohio State offensive line, centers and the guards, what do you see out of that group, and what is the challenge that they provide?
They're athletic, they're physical. They do a good job of controlling the line of scrimmage, knocking you out of your gap. And as a whole, they often do a good job of executing when the offensive line do their job.
All right, we'll go to Christopher Heidel. Christopher?
Hi, DJ. Thanks for taking my question this morning. Just talk about, everybody's been talking about Justin Fields and all that stuff and the running backs. What do you see that's different with Ohio State that people are not talking about? Are they talking about more about the wide receivers? Or are they talking more about, what do you see in your prep for this team?
I think the whole offense needs to get some credit from the offensive line, from Justin Fields, the running back, the receivers, the tight ends. The tight ends played well in the last couple of games. So I feel like the offense as a whole is just a challenge to take on. So I feel like the whole offense needs to get credit for what they've been doing.
All right, we'll now take a question from Stephen Smith. Go ahead, Stephen.
DJ, Christian Barmore has always been kind of a big-time player, but in the last few games, he's really been just incredibly disruptive. Like, what does he bring, not just in practice, but on that game field where he's able to flip on that switch and just attack quarterbacks the way he does?
It's not really a switch. That's just him, whether it's in practice or in the game. That's just him. The thing that separates him is just his mindset and just his will, and that the only thing that can stop him is him. It's just his mindset and like how he carries himself. That's just him. It's not really a switch. That's even outside of here. He just feel like he can't be beat in anything, whether it's football, basketball, whatever. That's just him.
Our next question will come from Brendan Gulick. Go ahead, Brendan. Go ahead,
Sorry,
Brendan.
I think I just took me a second to get unmuted there. I apologize. DJ, I'm curious if you could elaborate maybe on how your ability to practice good on good, the fact that you guys are going up against your own teammates who you feel are some of the best players in the country prepares you and maybe excites you for a matchup where, Ohio State feels the same way. They've got elite talent on both sides of the ball. Does that, heighten your excitement level for a game like this, knowing that, the stakes are certainly high because you're playing for a national championship, but you truly do get to play against some of the best players in the country?
Yeah, I feel like more than anything, it just prepares us for any opponent. Obviously, different teams do different things, but going against our offense and our offensive line, I feel like we can take on any challenge that any offense gives us.
All right, we'll now go to Steve Moulton. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, DJ. I was hoping you could speak about the overall front seven and at least the growth that you've seen out of the front seven and overall collectively. How do you think you guys have improved throughout the season?
From starters, I feel like we've done a better job of stopping the run. And I think the biggest thing was just communicating. It's been a very long season, and over time we've done a good job of just, gaining chemistry together, and you kind of get a feel for, everybody around you. You starting to figure out how everybody play and how you have to communicate with different players, a certain way, and give them calls a certain way. So just the chemistry and just the bond that we've created and grown to over the whole season is just what been the biggest difference.
All right, our next question will come from Angel Wells. Go ahead, Angel.
Hi, so before college, what made you want to start playing the game of football? And did you play any other sports as a kid too?
I started playing football when I was 4 years old, and before football, I started playing baseball when I was 3, and I played basketball. But football has just been something that's always been around me, like growing up, like from my older brothers, my uncles. I don't even remember me actually wanting to play football. Just from as far as I can remember, that's something that's always done. But it wasn't baseball was my first sport and probably my favorite sport. But football just always been there.
We have time for another quick one. If someone has a question, raise your hand, and we'll get one or two more in here. All right, we'll go to Leo Johnson. Leo, go ahead.
Hey, DJ, I was asking Phil Mathis about this before you came. How do you plan to get past the Buckeyes' outstanding offensive line and stop their great rushing attack and passing attack?
I just believe in all the calls that coach is going to put us in, and just executing them. And if you execute the calls, then it's going to put you in the best position to make plays. Yeah, I'm not really focused on like just me personally, but just executing all the calls that he gives us, and it'll put us in the best position to make plays.
And our final question will come from Alif Karim. Alif?
Hey, man. Thanks for taking this question. With the Saturday game for Washington football and Tampa Bay, there's a lot of players on Washington on the defensive side of the ball. Kind of what does that speak to the preparation you get at Alabama on that side of the ball?
And can you repeat that?
Yeah, sorry about that. In this Saturday's Washington football game, there's a lot of players in Washington that are on the defensive side of the ball that are from Alabama. So kind of what can you speak to the preparation you get while you're with the Crimson Tide?
Oh, just to buy in, and I mean, you see where it can get you. I miss a lot of guys on the Washington football team came from Alabama, and even on the defensive line. So just buy in and do what the coach asks you to do, and you can see where it gets you.
All right, thank you very much, DJ. Good luck on Monday. Next, we will be joined by linebacker Christian Harris. Again, the hands have been lowered. If you have a question for Christian, please use the raise hand function in your program. Again, video and transcripts will be posted after today on collegepressbox.com. Christian, thanks for joining us. We'll go ahead and start with a question from Dan Hope. Dan, go ahead.
Hey, Christian, when you're going up against an offense like this that's had as much success as it's had, both in the pass and the run game, kind of how do you handle that in terms of making sure you're equally prepared for both areas?
Just making sure, like you said, they're very explosive in the passing game, they're very explosive in their run game, and just being very disciplined, just executing whatever coach's game plan is. And, I just think being disciplined is a very big part of that.
Next question comes from Mike Rodak. Go ahead, Mike.
Christian, Dylan recently opened up about some of the difficulties of this season for him. Just what's it been like in that room with him, and what have you been able to do to help him along?
I mean, I think Dylan's done a really great job throughout, like, all his injuries and stuff that he's been dealing with. But, sometimes, I think I'll probably just communicate a little more, or, we'll switch out spots on the field sometimes, stuff like that. It's not really too much that's changed, but, he's still a great leader for us each and every day, no matter what he's going through. So I think he's done a pretty great job.
Next question comes from Haley Sutton. Go ahead, Haley.
Hey, Christian, obviously, this year has not been what anyone expected with COVID popping in and out, but your team has still managed to break a new record, it seems, every week, and now you're looking forward to playing to the national championship on Monday. So I guess my question is, would a national championship win to cap off everything y'all have accomplished this year maybe be a little bit more special than a regular year, or how will winning on Monday kind of be a bigger accomplishment?
I just think, getting an opportunity to play in the national championship, regardless of, whatever year it is, whatever you had to go through that year, it's a great opportunity. And I think, just you should go out there and try and take advantage of it. I mean, we'll see. I can't really answer for really that. Like I said, we'll just see what happens on Monday.
All right, our next question comes from Tony Gerdeman. Tony, go ahead, please.
Just wondering about the Ohio State running game. You mentioned you have to be disciplined. What have you seen so far that leads you to think, why have they been so successful this year based on what you have seen on the ground?
I think it starts with them up front. Their O-line is really physical, And they do a really good job of, just like I said, executing whatever their coach's game plan is, especially getting to the second level. And the running back, he does a really great job of hitting the seams and cutbacks. And, I mean, he has a really great stiff arm. I mean, he's just an all-around great running back. So you just have to make sure you're really sound in your gap control and real physical.
Next question comes from Zachary Brazilier. Zachary, go ahead.
What is, Dylan meant to this defense and to the younger guys? I mean, he's obviously been through a lot. The fact that he's playing through it, hurt and playing through, bumps and bruises. What has he meant to you guys?
Wait, can you repeat that?
What has Dylan meant to you guys? The leadership he's brought. He's obviously been a difficult year for him. I mean, what's he been like as a leader?
He's a great leader for us. Somebody I've always looked up to since I was little. Dylan's like a big brother to me, and he's very vocal out there, and he also leads by example. But he's a very great leader. We all look up to him on the defense. Whenever the energy's low, he picks us up. Whether that's him saying something or leading by example by making a big play in practice or in the game, stuff like that. So I think he's doing a really great job.
Our next question comes from AP Stedham. AP, go ahead.
Hey, good morning, Christian.
Morning.
Say, Christian, I was wondering if you can tell me about number 88 for Ohio State. He has 12 catches, but 5 are for touchdowns. Jeremy Rucker, what have you seen from him that makes him so explosive?
I think all around he's a great player. He's really physical, which also causes a lot of challenges because a lot of tight ends, they may be only physical and not really that effective in the pass, or only effective in the pass, not that effective in the run. But I think he can do both of those. Which makes you, like I said, have to be really disciplined because he can kill you in any moment of the game. Like I said, whether it's the run play, he'll put you on your back, or a pass, because he's a great route runner. He's also got some size on him, so it's really hard to get around him when he's trying to make catches. So his catch radius is also well. So I think he'll present a really good challenge for us, and he's a really great player.
Our next question comes from Alif Kareem. Alif.
Hey, Christian, thanks for taking this time. With this Saturday's Washington football game, there's a lot of players on Washington that are on the defensive side of the ball. Sort of, what does it speak to the way you guys prepare at Alabama to be NFL ready by the time you guys are done with your playing careers?
I think, the coaches here at Alabama do a really great job of developing players to, give them the best chance to, play on the next level. And also be successful, not just get there, but to be able to get there and stay there and be consistent. So I think that just seeing those people, on the Washington football team get out there and play, just shows how great our coaches and how great this program is here at Alabama.
All right, we'll now go to Jeff Spiegel. Jeff.
Hi, Christian. Certainly, this offense has gotten, more than its share of publicity, and deservedly so. And the defense has had, a few more growing pains. Is this a great chance for you guys to, to make a statement against a high-powered offense like this, to say, hey, we play pretty well on this side of the ball too?
I think, each and every week we try to go in making a statement. We know we have a really great offense. We have times where we're a little bit shaky on defense, but you're only as good as your last game, so we try to, bounce back and, like I said, just execute whatever coach's game plan is and do whatever we can to win.
We'll now go to Leo Johnson. Leo, go ahead.
Hey, Christian, what have both you and your team faced this season to help you prepare for this Ohio State offense?
Wait, you said what have we faced?
Yeah.
I think, just great running backs or great tight ends. I mean, different pieces from other offenses. I mean, you kind of look at their offense. They can literally do anything. They can run the ball at any point. They can throw it at any point. They have really great explosive receivers. They have a really explosive quarterback who can sit in the pocket, take a hit and throw it. He can run out of the pocket and scramble and throw it, or he can take off for 50 yards. So, I mean, like I said, they present a really, really great challenge for our defense, and I think we're excited for the challenge.
Next question comes from Steve Moulton. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Christian. Hope you're doing well today. So I hear Coach Saban a lot talking about affecting or affecting the pocket in particular on the defensive side. How much bigger of a challenge is affecting the pocket with a guy like Justin Fields who has that scrambling ability?
I think you just have to be, disciplined, not rushing too far off the field past the quarterback, giving them a chance to step up in the pocket and get out to extend the play because, that happens a lot whenever you're facing a quarterback who has the ability to scramble. So I think just staying disciplined with that and just trying to close the pocket is very important.
Okay, we'll take one final question from Angel Wells. Go ahead, Angel.
Hey, Christian, what do you do to calm your nerves while you compete in big games like this one?
I think it all starts from before the game. I have like this little ritual where I eat like Skittles and stuff. So that kind of like when I keep my little ritual the same, it kind of keeps me calm. And like I said, I just have a lot of confidence in my team as well. Whenever we go out there, that we can, go out there and execute each and every play. So I think it all stems from the confidence that I have in my team and everybody around me.
I think, Christian, thank you for your time. Good luck on Monday.
Thanks, Christian.
And our final Alabama student athlete today will be a safety Jordan Battle. Again, if you have a question, use the raise hand function, and we'll spend some time with Jordan in just a few moments. Welcome, Jordan. We'll go ahead and take our first question from David Farones. David?
Hey, Jordan. Good to see you. Good to see you doing so well since your time at Aquinas. Want to know, just what it's going to feel like for you playing back home in South Florida, and then also just how South Florida prepared you and the other guys from this area for big moments like this.
Of course, it's going to be a great time, playing in Miami, my hometown, well, close to my hometown, having a lot of family there, getting a chance to play in Miami, in the Hard Rock Stadium, grew up watching the Dolphins in there. And how South Florida, prepared us for this. We grew up with speed, track, basketball, playing every sport. We come out, we run, just run straight out our mom. We run. That's what we do. So, that's how South Florida, prepared us for moments like these.
All right, our next question comes from Jordan McPherson. Jordan, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was muted for a second. Hey there, Jordan. Can you speak to just basically your guys' entire secondary is South Florida guys? You, Pat, Daniel, Josh. Just what's it like playing with a bunch of guys at the college level, going for a national title, and doing it with guys who you basically grew up with on the high school circuit?
Yeah, it's fun. Coming from South Florida, we all kind of have the same lingo. We have such a great bond. Coming from out of the same area. I grew up playing with players like D. Wright, playing against Pat, playing against Josh Jobe. It's just very fun. To be able to be playing against and competing for a national championship now, coming from the same area.
All right, our next question will come from Nathan Baird. Go ahead, Nathan.
Sorry. Ohio State, as you saw on film in the Clemson game, used checkdowns pretty well between Fields and Sermon. I'm just curious, as a defense, how do you try to prevent some of those gash plays from happening? Just because it's obviously not their first choice of a play, but can still be really effective.
It's just having good eyes. Locking on to your mans or locking on to your zone. In a scramble or when it's long. When it's long time, when he has long time to throw the ball, it's just being consistent and being focused on, your keys. And, watching your man, you lock on. If he scrambles, you got to stay on, because creating plays off the scramble is one of the most explosive plays, for a quarterback to make.
Next question will come from Stephen Means. Go ahead, Stephen.
Hey, Jordan. You spent a small period of time committed to Ohio State before obviously you chose Alabama. I don't know, is it weird at all to think that no matter what, you could be playing in this game right now?
It's funny. My mom, dad, and my brother, we were all talking about it in our group chat this past week, and it's kind of funny that in either school I would have went to, I would have been in the national championship. But I give all praise to Ohio State, great coaching staff, great players, and
I just had to make the best decision for me towards the end to come to Alabama. So I give all the praise and all the excitement and enjoying Ohio State as well.
Next question comes from Ben Hall. Ben, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Jordan. Throughout your career at Ohio State, your freshman year, most importantly, you played along some really talented safeties who had some experience playing in the college football, and Xavier McKinney and Shaheem Gardner and them guys like that. What did you learn from those guys to kind of help push you in these moments and games like this?
To be consistent, stay focused. Stay focused on what we have to do to win this game. Go watch film. Be locked in. Be a leader on the field. Get everybody on the same page. Have us all communicate. Be on the same page. Coach Scott tell us before every game. Win the game before the game even happens. And that means like staying in the books, know what's coming. And just be focused.
Next question will come from Dan Hope. Go ahead, Dan.
Hey, Jordan, just to follow up on what you were asked about, your decision to flip from Ohio State to Alabama, just what do you remember about, being recruited by the Buckeyes, and what did you like about them, and what did you ultimately make you decide to become Alabama instead?
Like I said before, it was a personal thing. I had to make the best decision for me, and obviously, you see, I did make the best decision for me, and that's all it came down to. I don't remember the process and all that. It's been too much in college for me to remember that.
Next question comes from Myron Williams. Myron?
Hello, Jordan. As you mentioned earlier, you will be returning to South Florida, and along with a couple other guys on the squad. Have you guys had a chance to talk to each other about some of the expectations? And furthermore, as Coach Saban or Coach Golding actually talk to you guys as well to try to get you tempered down? I know you got a lot of expectations going on with family and friends.
No, we haven't really talked about that yet. That's probably going to be something to talk about after the game. Right now we're just focusing on, preparing for the game, and hoping for the best outcome for us, you feel me?
All right, our next question comes from Patrick Murphy. Patrick?
Jordan, as a safety, just looking, across the Ohio State passing attack and the weapons they have, what do you see in those guys, and what is the biggest challenge you guys face out of those weapons?
Obviously, Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson, Lave, and number 6, Jamison Williams. They're all great players. Very respectful players. They're very great, very fast. Very, very. I don't know. Hey, they're gonna be the greatest challenge we have. This national championship.
All right, our next question will go to Anthony Euro. Anthony?
Hey, Jordan, have you spoken to your former high school coach, Roger Harriet, about the national title game, and how has he impacted you throughout your high school and college career?
Oh, I love Coach Harriet. Very family man. He coached my brother at university school before I even went to St. Thomas, before I even left university school and went to St. Thomas, and that's what made me, go to St. Thomas. He taught me a lot, man. Just being disciplined, having great character. That's what led me to, getting here right now, where I am right now.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anthony. We'll go to Jeff Spiegel. Jeff?
Hi, Jordan. Tonight, Pat's going to be up for a couple of awards, including, I guess, what would be the equivalent of the Heisman Trophy for the defensive guys. Just talk about what that's going to be like, how much you're rooting for him, and what an impact he's had on your career at Bama.
Oh, Pat is a great player. He always on me about staying focused, keeping the track. And I'm very happy for him for being up for these awards, and I'm very excited to see the outcome of these.
All right, we'll take a question from Joe Goodman. Joseph?
Hey, Jordan, you might not realize this, but when Nick Saban back in the day came to Alabama, George Smith at St. Thomas Aquinas wrote a letter telling no one to go to Alabama back then. It's been so long since Saban has been at Alabama now. How do young players like yourself who came up going to St. Thomas and other schools kind of look at Nick Saban now compared to the way they did when he left the Dolphins?
I don't know nothing about that. You just kind of like blew my mind. I ain't even know nothing about that. I mean, my decision was like based on me, my family, you know, and the coaching staff at Alabama. So, you know, I don't really know about any of that George Smith stuff, but I love George Smith. It's my guy right there.
All right, we'll take one final question from Stephen Smith. Stephen.
Jordan, I know he didn't play against Notre Dame, but how has Malachi Moore looked in practice this week?
That's not for me to speak on. You know, Malachi is, you know, focusing on getting his back right and all that. So we just focusing on us and, you know, moving forward from the next game, what we could do better and what we can, you know, do to change what we did bad in Notre Dame game.
All right, Jordan, thank you for joining us. Best of luck on Monday.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. A reminder that transcripts and a copy of the video will be on collegepressbox.com shortly.